Hey, it's Joe from OK Keto. Guess what? It's a very important, exciting day today because it is 1 year since I started on my ultralight healthy weight loss journey. So, the 4th of July, I like to call it my own Independence Day, where I became independent from the old ways of eating that were making me unhealthy and doing my body a disservice. So, how did I get into ultralight? Well, my husband and I both trained as ultralight consultants. We come from a background of running chiropractic clinics over the years, and now my husband is retired. The ultralight program really seemed to fit with our idea of health, that health comes from the inside. So once we trained for the programs, I thought, oh dear. I looked at myself and I actually saw a photo and a video of myself taken in the April 2019, and I thought, I guess I better do the program. So I decided then to become a shining light of what the program can do for people. So after many years, I finally went and bought some scales and weighed myself. Well, that was a shock. But at the same token, you cannot manage what you cannot measure. I'd had a history of glandular fever in my 20s, and I do remember when I was getting over that, I was helped greatly by a naturopath, and I did a detox where I gave up sugar and basically yeast for about 6 months. I do remember after the first few days feeling amazing and not even craving those things that I'd given up. So once I hit the what you call dietary ketosis on the ultralight program, I remembered straight away back to when I was in that state. I'd always had trouble sleeping my entire life. Working a part-time job, I could barely get through the weekend without a couple of afternoon naps. I loved food, not so much the sweets and the sugary food, but I did love my carbs. I love my bread, I love my pastries, and I put that down to my Danish and my Cornish heritage. So I was challenged. My liver and gallbladder weren't happy with me when I ate too much fatty food. I was trouble sleeping. As a woman in middle age, I can't believe I just declared myself to be in middle age. Of course, the challenges of hormones were kicking in as well. I was basically just eating too much. So, as we all know, too much carbs convert to sugars and get stored by the body as fat. So I decided to start the program. So what was the program like for me? What was it like to start the ultralight program? Well, I will be honest, the first 2 days were tough. By day 3, I thought, I'm so glad I'm on day 3 and I've done those first 2 days. But to my delight, I hadn't even properly got my portions to the right size. I discovered that my body was in dietary ketosis. And that took me back to the feeling that I had in my 20s when I did that special diet where I gave up sugar and I gave up yeast. And I must have been in dietary ketosis at that stage because it is the same feeling. I didn't even want the foods that weren't supposed to be in my diet. My body had kicked into ketosis where the body takes over and your mind is satisfied with what you're eating. It's hard to explain the feeling of satiety and feeling satisfied with what you've eaten. So I found that was a really interesting experience for me, and I kind of understood it all. It all came together. So since that time, I've lost 23 kilos, and that was by about February, that's a great word, February 2020. And I feel now that I have the tools to continue eating this way and to look after myself so that I can go into a healthy old age.